Alright, so a company most people have never heard of just dropped something that could change everything. By the end of this video, you'll understand why Boston Dynamics should be very, very worried. But here's the craziest part. The price tag on this thing, it's going to make your jaw hit the floor. On January 12th, 2026, a Chinese company called LimX Dynamics unveiled something called COSA. And before you click away thinking this is just another robot announcement, let me explain why this is fundamentally different from anything we've seen before. COSA isn't actually a robot, it's an operating system. Remember when Android came along and suddenly every phone manufacturer could build smartphones? COSA is trying to do the exact same thing, but for humanoid robots. They're literally calling it the Android of robots. And honestly, that comparison might actually be underselling it. Here's the problem that's been plaguing robotics for years. Current humanoid robots are basically running multiple separate AI systems that don't talk to each other properly. One system handles walking, another handles grabbing objects, another handles understanding what you're saying to it. It's messy, it's inefficient, and it's why most humanoid robots still look so awkward and robotic. COSA changes that completely. It's built on a 3-layer architecture that unifies everything into one seamless system. The foundation layer handles all the movement and balance. The perception layer processes what the robot sees and senses in real time. And the cognitive layer? This is where it gets wild. It handles decision-making, language understanding, task planning, memory, and get this, emotional states. Yeah, you heard that right. Emotional states. LimX is claiming their robots can manage something resembling emotional context. Now, whether that's marketing speak or something genuinely revolutionary, we don't know yet, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Let me paint you a picture of what this actually looks like in practice. You walk up to an Oli robot, that's the humanoid that runs COSA, and you say, "Bring 2 water bottles to the reception desk." That's it. That's all you say. The robot then figures out where the water bottles are based on its memory of the environment. It plans the route. It navigates around obstacles. It picks up the bottles. It walks to the reception desk, and it delivers them. No pre-programming, no specific instructions. It just figures it out. And here's what really impressed me. If someone moves those water bottles while the robot is on its way to get them, it doesn't freak out. It doesn't crash. It simply replans in real time and adapts. That's the kind of flexibility we've been waiting for in robotics. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The price. Because this is where LimX just flipped the entire industry upside down. Boston Dynamics Atlas? Over $150,000, and they don't even sell it to the public. Agility Robotics Digit? Around $250,000. Figure AI's robots? Estimates put them anywhere from $30,000 to $150,000. The LimX Oli humanoid running COSA? $21,800. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. A full-size humanoid robot standing 5'5" with 31 degrees of freedom, capable of walking on rough terrain, climbing stairs, carrying up to 8 kilograms, and running a sophisticated AI operating system for less than the price of a new Honda Civic. This isn't just competitive pricing. This is a declaration of war on every other robotics company on the planet. But here's why the price matters beyond just being impressive. At $21,000, humanoid robots suddenly become accessible to researchers, to universities, to small businesses, to developers who want to build applications on top of this platform. LimX isn't just selling robots, they're building an ecosystem. And if there's one thing we've learned from the smartphone wars, it's that ecosystems win. Apple didn't win because they had the best hardware. They won because they had the App Store. Android didn't win because it was the cheapest. It won because developers could build on it. COSA is making that exact same play, but for robotics. And they've got some serious firepower behind them. Alibaba owns almost 19% of the company. JD.com, which operates China's largest e-commerce fulfillment network, led their last funding round. SAIC Motor, China's biggest automaker, has invested too. These aren't just investors, these are deployment partners. JD.com needs warehouse automation desperately. So does Alibaba. LimX basically has guaranteed customers with massive logistics operations ready to deploy these robots at scale. The company has raised over $96 million in total, and they're already mass-producing these robots. This isn't a prototype announcement. This isn't a concept video. These are shipping products. Now let's zoom out for a second, because there's a bigger story here that's worth paying attention to. Chinese companies are absolutely dominating the humanoid robotics space right now. LimX, Unitree, Agibot, they're all pushing boundaries while American companies seem to be stuck in perpetual development mode. Boston Dynamics has been around for over 30 years and still hasn't figured out how to commercialize their robots successfully. Meanwhile, LimX was founded in 2022. That's less than 4 years ago. And they're already shipping production humanoids at a price point that makes competitors look ridiculous. The robotics industry might be about to go through the same transformation that happened with smartphones, with electric vehicles, with solar panels. Industries where American companies pioneered the technology, but Chinese companies figured out how to make it affordable and scalable. So what happens now? LimX is showing off COSA and the Oli robot at CES 2026. Pre-orders are already open. They're targeting logistics, warehousing, and manufacturing for the immediate future. As for household robots, the company's COO has been refreshingly honest about that. He says home applications are still 5 to 7 years away, which honestly, I respect. It's better than the constant overpromising we see from other companies. Look, I've covered a lot of robot announcements on this channel. Most of them are incremental improvements, cool demos that don't really change anything. This feels different. The combination of a unified operating system, aggressive pricing, massive strategic investors, and a clear path to deployment. That's rare in robotics. Will COSA actually become the android of robots? Will LimX deliver on these promises at scale? Only time will tell. But I'll say this, if you're not paying attention to what's happening in Chinese robotics right now, you're missing one of the biggest technology stories of the decade. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be tracking how this plays out over the coming months. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the updates. I'll see you in the next one.